given to them. Now, if you had that information, then you should have provided it to the committee members. But if you did not provide it to the committee members, you should not have a problem with them not no longer supporting you.
Well, I guess I would say this. This is a RFP for an engineering contract, and I'm going to leave for the committee the team that Veolia put forward to do the work in St. Louis. They are fully credentialed American engineers that have done work in American cities, and that was my starting point. I could not find any connection between these engineers and the work they have done and the kinds of geopolitical and other criticisms that were raised about Veolia's French parents. So the challenge that I pose to the critics is the people who would be doing the work for us, what connection do they have to these criticisms? And I could find none.
It's the, you know that that's a big, you know that it's at the end of the day, it's the company, it's the director, it's the leadership, that it's the operations of that organizations that whatever small group of engineers they would apply to this project, that's the only thing we have to judge it on. We know that this company has been thrown out of other cities. We know that this company has had major violations against it, including pumping raw sewage back into the water streams, all kinds of things. And I just don't understand why we're tied at the hip with that company. That same group of engineers, if you go to Johnson Controls, they can put up just as impressive list or more impressive list than that list that you're seeing there. And then to state it further, you wouldn't have any idea or any way to begin to connect any of those groups of engineers to those projects, because when they report them in the papers, when they report them out, they say Veolia Water. They don't say John Doe, engineer at Veolia Water. They say Veolia Water. So unless Veolia Water came forward and told you honestly and frankly which engineer was part of that or which engineer was part of that plan, we have to automatically assume that every last one of them were part of all the violations that we see.
Well, I think that would be unfair of you to do that.
I'm saying that's what we're left with. That's what we're left with, and I don't understand why we continue to retread the same ground.
Because I think
Mr. Chairman, yeah. I'm done because I think we're in a circular argument.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I had a question about the process here. So just stepping back from the specifics of the situation, just as a general contract, if the Board of EMA discussed this several times and did not act on it and chose to not approve the contract, what I'm failing to understand is how the administration feels they can go around both the Board of EMA and objections to the Board of Aldermen. How does that work in the mind?
Michael Garvin would be the better person to do the technicalities of that, but I can tell you how I think it through. I having been here for just 2 years, am not as imbued in custom, and so I just went to the charter and the rules and the cases that were litigated, and my understanding of it is this, that the Board of Estimate and Apportionment during the course of a fiscal year, when monies for a particular contract have not been appropriated, is the body to determine whether they want to appropriate the money. Or you can introduce a separate ordinance in the Board of Aldermen. But in terms of efficiency, if something comes up in the Department of Public Safety where they need to make a repair over at the jail and they need to move some money from their salary account to their contract account and get the approval of ENA for the appropriation for that contract, you do that in front of ENA, and Ms. Deacon is available as Director of Public Safety or Commissioner Class to answer all the questions. The better practice, rather, is to plan these things out as part of the budget process, and your operating divisions put forward a budget to the broadly representative Board of Aldermen. You have your own process then in which hearings are held, where all of the operating divisions come before you.
So if we start fresh from the beginning and use the selection committee, is there any kind of catastrophe or what they cause to see the same sort of problem with Veolia on lawsuits if you start this process all the way over and look at
bogey is that we go forward with this consulting. Nothing has changed in our mind that Veolia is in the best position to give us the advice that we need, advice that you can judge when it's rendered in a very short period of time. I would say this. We've been at this for almost a year, and we participated in all the public processes. We need fresh eyes on our water division. Veolia was chosen. We need to get started on that without delay. And we didn't want to rush anybody through any of the other stuff, but time is of the essence. And we have an opportunity to get good advice and for everybody to judge whether